Hello. It's been a year. It's been a day. Oh my gosh. My first time sitting over here with some stuff moved and I banged my knee into it. Let's get that over. Okay. Hello. It is Bear. At barely watercoloring, only slightly yawning and speaking at the same time while I stretch. Multitasking. Today, what are we going to do? Today, doing a little bit of Star Trek, a little bit of potential swatching if I get around to it, but mostly Star Trek. Why Star Trek? Well, I love it. That's one thing. And two, because I'm showing off my new LCARS user interface theme for Twitch that I made. I'm looking at the starting soon screen right now. It shows when I'm starting soon. I thought it was pretty cool. I love the colors. How everything came out was actually really not that bad. I love Voyager. Out of all the Star Trek series, Voyager is probably my favorite. So I've got a little Voyager, a little display going on top. That I did not make. I found it on YouTube and chroma keyed it so that it's transparent and kind of fits with the theme. But that may come and go. We'll see. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Live. This is my new live scene. Pretty close to the other one with some minor changes. But yeah, I can show nothing and just have some pictures in the background that I've got. I can show my over-the-shoulder cam like normal. I've got my top-down view so you can see from above like normal. And then should I need to like share something on my screen, I've got the button to show my other screen. Right now it's got Spotify on it. But yeah. And then at some point I'll be right back and you'll see the little secret on there. But yeah, I think we'll just go with the over-the-shoulder scene for the moment, and I'll talk about what we're doing today. So, excuse me. Just got my printer hooked back up the other day, so I was able to print out some new little Star Trek ships blueprint things. So I got some of those. I'll show them on the good camera. One is from Star Trek Voyager. One of the episodes, two of them actually, are about the Equinox, which is a class of ship that was made around the same time as Voyager and Intrepid class. And they did 2 episodes where this ship had got lost in the Delta Quadrant shortly before Voyager did. And it already had taken off and started heading toward home well before Voyager arrived in the area, so Voyager never knew the ship was there. And these people, somehow, many seasons ahead of when the show started, found a way to be around the same place that Voyager was, and Voyager took some serious shortcuts to be able to get to that point. So how did this ship make it that far? Well, they ended up finding a sneaky way to be able to basically kill aliens and use their remains as a special travel, like special fuel for traveling quickly. And they were obviously like fighting for their lives because that race was like, why are you killing our people? Anywho, this is the ship, Nova class. It's a different ship name, Solaris, I think. Yeah, Solaris. So this is one that I could possibly do some tracing and painting on because it looks fairly simple. Going simpler than that, we've got all of the shuttles that were in use on the Voyager. So I could pick 1 or 2 or a few of these. As you saw earlier, I have done a Delta Flyer before. It's this one. That's a big boy version of it, but this would be a simple side view version. Don't even have to put it on space background or anything. I can literally just do it on plain white paper and just do some of the ships and then color them in somehow, right? So those are kind of cute. And then the last one I printed was Voyager, and it is a Voyager from the fore and the aft, front and back, one with the nacelles down in their normal, like, impulse speed or stationary position, and then with the nacelles up on the bottom there where they tilt up. There's only a ship that they made where the nacelles move, because that was their solution for something, a story that was written in Star Trek The Next Generation, where starships were destroying the fabric of space when they were at warp. And so this was a design that allowed them to be able to get around that and fix it so it doesn't do that damage anymore. So they're like, moving nacelles, that'll do it. So that's a possibility. But this is you can tell, is a bit more advanced. It would take a lot more tracing to get this down because there's a lot of detail in it. So I might stick with the simpler stuff today. So we'll see. I think for speed, I can start with some of the shuttles. And then if I feel like it, I might also do this full Nova class ship. So we'll see. So I think I'll start with this. Let me set this over here. And if I have time, it's up to me, but we'll see how this goes. If I have time, I also have this paint set that I had got and unwrapped a few weeks back, maybe a month or more. But I haven't done anything with it yet. Of course it's upside down. Yoink. But yeah, let me go to top down. Yeah, this guy. So it is from Kuretake. Let me bring that up here so you can see it. Focus. There we go. Kuretake. There's a set I found on Amazon that was suggested by some streamers that I was watching. So I thought, hey, let me go check it out. And it wasn't too stupidly expensive. And it's the largest selection in one go that I've ever gotten in any paint set. Not used it yet, but I figured if I run out of time to do other stuff that I want to do, and I just need something to kill time at the end of the stream, I can try doing a quick swatch of this, or at least preparing to swatch it. There's so much here that I think in order to make it work, one thing I can do is swatch in the lid. This includes a little swatch card right inside the top of the lid. So it's in the same orientation as where all the pans are. So I can technically swatch right on this in the blank space to the right of each color, and then see at a glance what each color is. Alternatively, I can do what I've been doing with every paint set or palette that I've done and do stuff like this, right? Where I do pick a sheet of paper, I make the swatch from dark to light value, and then write the name of it next to it. This one in particular is from the Winsor Newton Cotman set that I've got. Very vibrant colors. So I could do something like this. We'll see if I get that far. But what would be smart is if I did it really small and I used like this sheet of paper, this size, this 9x12, and then trim off the right side so it fits inside the lid, and just do a swatch on that and keep it with the set. That would be really smart. I might do that. We'll see. But then I'll have to whip out the ruler and I'll divide up the single sheet of paper into this size to fit the same layout and shape as the pans. That way I know what each one is at a glance. So I might do that. Excuse me. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and put this up for now. We'll come back to it later. Put my sheet gun away. I don't need it right now. But what I do need, light box. Gonna need to take that out today. So let me scoot some of this over because it just happens to be behind everything. So that can go there. This I don't need right now. This I don't need right now. This can go over here. This can go over here. Yoink. This can go back. This stuff can go back. All right. So I've got this ready. I'm not doing this one right now, so let me put it up. Stay. Let me get my paint palette out. Okay, that's good. You can see exactly half of it. Great. You fold this over. Put it up here. Maybe facing the other way. All right. I'm going to spray this down here in a sec. Make sure you can see it. Yeah, that's fine. Keep this. Actually, I don't even need the palette yet. I forget I'm going to be tracing. Let me scoot this over then. Make myself some room. Paper. I think for the size of what this is, I'm going to stick with the 9x12. So let me pull some of that out. You, my friend, can go back here. Let's see. Oh, you know what I can do? Let's have some coffee. My Zelda cup today. Remember if I have a Star Trek cup right now. I think I do. Spacing on that. I'll have to look if I've got one at some point. Paper. Let's grab a sheet. Oh. Look at you. You're separating. How many more sheets do I have left on this? 4? Huh. Well, it's coming out. So that's what I'm doing with that one. This can go in the trash. Do I need any cardboard? I don't think so, but maybe I'll keep it for funsies. Hey, Goddess, welcome in. Been alert cooking a batch of dog food? Excellent. I think my other half just did that. You're fine. Take your time. Thank you. Yes. Let me show you the starting soon screen so you can see what that looks like. Isn't that neat? I'm very happy with how that came out. Got the little animation of the Voyager thing going on up there and the little waveform on the bottom, and music is going when I'm talking. It's kind of neat. Go back to the live scene. Yeah, it's pretty neat. I'm super happy with it. I was able to get it all done in the last couple days, so I'm really happy with it. I'll show you the Be Right Back screen really quick too. Got that little video playing in the corner as well. I have it looping. It has audio, but I decided to mute it. Otherwise, it would play the audio over and over again while I'm gone, and that's annoying. I could have played it just once, but then, like, the video is more fun than the message that it says in the audio, so I just figured I'll let it loop. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I like it. I'm very happy with how the display came out. It's pretty much just what I wanted. And yeah, instead of doing the traditional media and like painting it by hand and trying to photograph it or scan it or whatever, and then just not being happy with the result, I just said F it, and I went with that. I went with a program called Rebel, and I used it. I just painted it digitally. So yeah, if I mute Spotify and I talk, the voice thing on the bottom is live. It's actual. It's an actual voice meter. So when I talk, it also does voice things. So that's pretty cool. But otherwise, if I'm not talking, the music kind of takes over. So I can just let that play, and the music sets it off too. Just a cute little side visual thing, just to be something moving on the screen. And if I'm not talking, it goes with the music, and that way there's not a lot of extra fluff on the screen. So yeah, thank you. I am going to use one of these, and I'll set the others to the side at the moment. I'll figure out where to store these later. Stay. There we go. Okay. I think that looks a tiny bit tilted. Let me check and see if I do this one right here. It doesn't orient it. How about if I do that? That does. That's actually a little bit more lined up. Let me save that, and then I'll move this forward. And that's less like panned down. Let me hold that down and save it. And I think that'll do it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good. All right. So yeah, what I'm going to do today, let me set this to the side. I'm going to be using the light box, so it's almost definitely going to make the screen flicker. I have no control over that. It's just what it's going to do. But I'm going to trace one or two of these little Star Trek ships onto paper. So I need to grab some tape and tape this down so I'm not moving it around. I think I might do that for this too, so it doesn't slide underneath it. And then I'll turn the light box on. And this roll of tape is almost gone. I'll get the other one at the ready over here for when this runs out. All right. And paper. And I don't necessarily like the idea of painting on this, but since I'm not planning on going edge to edge on this, I think I'm just going to take this whole thing down. Yeah, see, getting to the end of this roll, it curls way worse. Or curls better. Curls in a way I don't want it to. Okay, so you can go there. Nice. And again, since I am not going to be painting the whole surface of this, I'm going to not tape the sides since the paper should not curl. But I am going to do up here. Try to avoid the power button. Yeah, and I should hold it in place. That way I can trace and everything and not be a problem. All right, light box is on. Good, doesn't seem to be making anything flicker because most of the light's covered, so that's good. And you can just see through it what I'm going to be doing. I wonder, can I zoom in? I don't know how bad that'll look. Let's see. Kinda. Yeah, that's good. You can leave it like that for a little bit. Scoot that over here. Yeah, that's not bad. That's it. And now, what am I going to draw with? Hey, Desert, welcome in. Yes, I was showing off I got my new user interface. Let me do the starting soon screen. A little Star Trek LCAR's little computer display. I like how it came out. Yeah, let's find, what do I normally trace this stuff with? I think I normally use these. I think maybe I can go with, what is this, 0.8? It is 0.8. Let me, where did I put it? I kept, he'll work. The one that I did my mouse on the other day. I'll use the back for a moment just to do a scratch. Paper. Yeah, I can probably do this and it'll be fine. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. That went in there hard. Just slap that in there and just slam down to my my tray over there. Okay. Which one do I want to start with? This is the Delta Flyer. I've done that in 3D before. I think maybe, like with most of my things, I should probably do from the left on the top and work my way downwards so I don't rest my hand in it while it might be wet. Let me move this paper towel up a little bit. Yeah, let's go here. I learned my lesson from last time. I'm going to go ahead now and take my glasses off because I'm getting old. And being able to see up close to trace this stuff, I need to take my glasses off, or I'll never be able to focus on it. Okay. It's been a while since I've traced anything. Let me scoop this over. Oh gosh, I've got it so far down that it's impacting the table. There we go. Scooch. Is that better? Can I still talk? Yes, okay, good. I'm trying to get better about staying close to my mic so that I'm heard. Well, I must have hit a button. Oh, you know what? I actually hit the button that you go here, you go there. There we go. Yeah, I managed to, does that, oh, I must have bumped into it too. Does that not turn it back the right way when you do that? Oh, it does that. I'm learning things about my camera. Okay, and then that right there. You know, I think I bumped into it. Let me scoot it back that way. There we go. Focus. Focus. Seriously, I took my glasses off and I can't even tell if it focused. Let me scoot. Yeah, that seems to be in focus. Okay, good. Glasses are coming back off. Yeah, so the remote for my camera was directly under the arm that my mic is mounted to, and it slammed down on top of it and started hitting buttons at random, so that was all me. I'm scooting it safely out of the way now. Yeah, it's on my list of things to do to go do an eye doctor appointment and get, what were they called? I'm spacing on the name. Not bifocals, it's a new version that does 3, like near, mid, and far. I'm spacing on the name of it, but it's got like a weird hourglass kind of shape. So the up close is on the bottom and so on. So you can use the same glasses and without having lines. And it's like trifocals, but it's, I can't think of the name, but it's a different kind of basically trifocal. It's the same idea, but it's like a smooth edged one. I don't know. I can't think of the name of it. But I was going to look at getting those so I can like learn how to use them properly and just keep my glasses on and just change like what direction I'm looking to be able to see things properly. All right, let's see how I do on this. It's been a minute since I have traced anything. I'm fearful I won't do well, but I'm just going to give it a shot. Okay, so you're going to be seeing a lot of the top of my bald head because I have no choice but to get really close with this.
That's the way computers talk to each other.
Oh yeah, I forget this song has speaking. Wow. It was weirdly easier to trace Voyager when I did it. I don't know if it's because of the paper texture or because I'm using a different point, like a different pen size, but I am wavering a little bit more as I draw. It's fine. This is just for fun, just for practice, so it doesn't really matter if it's not perfect. Mhm. It's amazing. Tracing can be just as terrifying as freehanding. I'm no good at freehanding drawing anything. The tracing is like, now you have to be perfect because you've got it right in front of you. And if you get it wrong, what's wrong with you? Ugh. That's just me being hard on myself. Okay, so I need to go here. Remember when I was tracing before, I kept hitting the power button by accident on the white box. So annoying. All right. I think there's another problem too. As soon as you start coloring in some of it, the bits next to it kind of disappear. So it's hard to tell what is and is not actually there. I like the finer details get lost. It's okay. Again, I'm not looking for perfection here. If I was, I'd be taking a lot longer to do this. Really? That's so common. You tell them. Okay. And there is definitely something there. I can't tell what, so I'm just gonna do some shapes because it looks like that. Oh, I literally just did what I said. Brushed against the power button and it dimmed it. Oh. What am I hearing? Oh, got it. I was hearing something around the headphones and the printer was putting. No. Draw straight lines. Nope. Straight lines are for losers. Okay. And I think we do this. Okay. Let me grab a thinner pen for the moment. You will work. Come hither. Okay. Okay. That's one. What else? This is. Oh, I can also write in the name. Oh, I should probably do. This will probably work. Ooh. Ooh. Here we go. Now what? I don't want to do the whole sheet necessarily, but I might, because why not, right? But if I do it all today, I'm going to be spending most of the stream just tracing stuff. But, I don't know, that probably took like 15 minutes or so I don't want to spend an hour doing the rest of these, but I'll probably pick on just one more. Well, this one's kind of boring. To be fair, this ship is like just white. So, I mean, I'd be painting just white on it and then I'd be done. I've done the Delta Flyer before, but it looks cool ultimately. So I think I might do that one. That says something under there. Voyager specific? I don't know. I can't really read that. Right, let's try to do this one. Yeah. Some little knick-knack thing over here. And something here. With some stuff I just can't see, but I'm gonna let it wide through there. All right, I think that's good enough for that one. I think that's probably enough for this, because these guys are very bland. I think I'll just start with these and see how they look. And if I keep doing that, I'll go blind. So let me put this up. You go there. You go back over here. Whoop, that didn't quite slot in there. There we go. Yeah, I'm grab my glasses. Once again, I can see. And everything is still in focus. Yeah, pretty much. Cool. All right, let's undo this. I guess we can turn this off. Yoink. I almost hate doing that. Such a clean piece of tape. Oh, yeah, why not? I said that earlier that I could just paint on this. Let's do that. Gosh, what are we gonna do? Let's put down the palette and start with that. Okay. Let that sit and activate everything for a moment. Okay. Scoots over here. Pick a small brush because we're going to be doing some smaller detail. Okay, so let's think this through. Well, I have an opportunity to do something smart. I know, right? What are the odds? I think maybe it might be time for some masking fluid. Because I run the risk of blending things and messing up the areas that need to be bright if I don't. So I think I will. Let me find a little brush that I can sacrifice that I don't care about. These little baby guys. That one's a little too small, but it might work. That might work. Somewhere. Aha. Masking fluid. I've not used it a lot. And like one of the 2 times that I've used it, I messed something up. Ironically, it's what's behind on this. Was it this one? Well, now I don't remember, but I think it was this one that the area around the window, the not black part, the brown part. I think I tried putting some on there. I don't remember. Now that I'm looking at it, I forget completely. But ultimately, what I'm going for here is that I made the mistake of putting masking fluid on top of something that was already painted, and that does not work. It does the exact opposite of protecting what you've already painted. It tears it up. So it's meant to be used on a surface that has not yet been painted to protect it with like a watertight barrier. It's basically rubber, like liquid rubber. And if you put it down and let it dry, you can paint over it and it won't affect the surface. And then when you're done painting all around it, all the stuff surrounding it, and you let that dry, you just go up with like a pencil eraser or your finger and you can pull up the rubber that dried the masking fluid that had dried. and that area is free for you to paint on. It's nice and bright, and it didn't get any overlap by anything around it. So I think I will use this guy, and wow, that got very foamy. That's kind of gross, but okay. See how this works. And I'm sitting here doing this with my glasses on again, and I need to take them off. So I'm going to cover up, I think just the little nacelle bits right here. This is the wrong brush for this because it doesn't feel like it's putting anything on the tip, and if I put too much, it's just foamy. That's kind of gross. Let's see how it does. Okay, that's fine. And then the engine bit here with the engine grill is. I think I just need a brush with more bristle than this. This is like the thinnest possible brush I could have used, and it is just hideous for this. Lesson for next time. In fact, I think it's already ruined it. It's got no texture to it. That's just gross. I'm done with that one. What else do we have here? That one's too large. That one is way too large. Uh-oh. Do I not have any options that I'm willing to sacrifice? Oh, this guy. This guy can be used. That would be fun. Hmm. And then this guy. And then this guy. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Not a lot, but just enough. Okay, now the fun bit. Trying to figure out how to get this stuff off here. I think that came off. Yep, looks like that came off of there just fine. I'll leave these over here. I have to put the lid on this so that it doesn't dry up. Yeah. So this is the stuff. This is masking fluid from Winter Newton. Let me try to line this up so you can see it. Yep. And the inside I didn't show. You may not even be able to see it, but it is just liquid rubber, like rubber cement in a way. We won't comment what that looks like. Okay, put that up. Okay, I am just gonna let that dry. While that is doing its thing and drying up, let's figure out mixing up some colors. So I think I will use my little palette here. So we need, we'll need a reddish color for the nacelle bit up front. That little first spot that I did here, let me move this down where you can see it. This first spot up here in the front of the nacelle that I did, that little triangle, is called the Bizarre Collector. In Star Trek, it's basically a funnel. It's basically something that can project out and reel in matter, like hydrogen and stuff like that, to use as fuel. And they use it for other things as the plot decides, but it's mainly used for that. The part behind it, the long bit here, is the actual warp nacelle, the actual warp, like the grill. So whenever you see any Star Trek ships that have like a bright blue like bar on it, on those little engines, it's that. So when they go to warp, it brightens up really super bright blue. Same thing over here. This section right here is one of those Bizarre Collector things. So it's red, like a reddish magenta, mostly red. And then the part just here, the tiny little vent thing, is also blue for the engine. Just like Voyager, because this is a ship made on Voyager, this whole weird triangle shape thing, like, is supposed to come out from the ship a little bit. I don't know if they ever did that, to be fair, but that was what was on the design. And then, you know, windows, those will be black, just because it's easier to make it black. The rest of the ship is going to be mostly a grayish color. I don't even know that I'll do shadows on this. I might keep it really stupid and simple. We'll see. But yeah, let's do at least the most basic of those colors. Let's grab ourselves red. I think for the sake of the argument, I'm going to probably go with this one. And it does not have to be incredibly bright. I'm going to thin it out once I go to put it on there. And then just dot it in a couple spots with the pure color to do some like different between light and dark. But it's a very tiny little spot, so that'll probably not even show up. So I don't need much of it because there's hardly any of it on here. For the engine color, that's the reason I got cerulean blue. So let's look at what that looks like. That's this guy. That was why I got that, but I also have another blue right here. That's more dark. I have another cerulean, and it's a completely different shade. So like finding the perfect Star Trek engine blue color has been a nightmare. I can never quite find the right color. This is the closest I've gotten is cerulean. That was that one. This one goes here. Yeah, and it's going to be really hard to see that these are 3 different shades of blue. The one on the far left is the cerulean that I'm probably going to go with for the engine. When it's transparent, it's got the best kind of bright blue color. Next up, the ship color. Well, the ships are all kind of a grayish color. Again, like that right there is basically what the shade of the ship is. It's just a really light gray color. So that's probably what I'm going to do. So let's just go into black and put some in the middle because that's mostly what I'm going to be using. And then I'm just going to grab some water and add to it. because I'm going to have to make it mostly transparent. Because I don't have gray paint. I say that like that's a stupid thing, but I mean, they literally make gray, like Payne's gray and other similar shades, because sometimes I guess black is just too dark and you can never quite get like good shades of gray with it. But I mean, I've had pretty good luck with it. One thing I did find too with like Federation starships, some of them have like a bluish gray tint. So Voyager does that. Voyager's got kind of a blue gray to it. So I might add just a tiniest bit of a cerulean into the black to get the faintest hint of blue in it. So I don't think it'll be a lot of it, but just a hint. Yeah. And that just makes it look kind of a darker grayish color. So that's probably what I'll use there. And then I'll just go pure black for the windows, but I'll do the windows last. And yeah, I think so long as the rubber cement has dried up, I don't know if it's quite dry yet. Let me see. Almost. It looks pretty glossy. I'm kind of concerned to put anything on it just yet. Yeah, it's a tiny bit tacky. It'll probably be fine, because ultimately if you paint over it, it'll stick to it, and it's still going to come off because there's a layer of it between the paint and the paper. So, I mean, that's what it's there for. So I think it'll be okay. So I think what that allows me to do is do a wash of just gray over the entire surface, because everything that's visible is going to be gray or darker than gray, except for the areas that I masked off. For the most part. So I think that'll be fine. So I'm gonna go in for this gray color. Let's get our tester sheet again. So pure from that well goes about that dark, and it's gonna dry fainter than that. It'll lighten up even more. So for a first pass, that's okay. And I might add just a touch of black to it to darken it up a little bit. But I think I can start with that. So let me move my tester back here. And let's go in there. There are some different colors in the Delta Flyer in some of these areas, so I might go a little bit, I might skip around some spots on here. So let me start over here. All right. That makes that one gray. Let's take a look at our other one here. I think the only spot that I'm going to avoid is this little kind of blackish triangle up here up in the top of this, because I seem to remember that it has tiny little pops of green in it because it's like a Borg bit of technology. But the rest of it can be this gray color. So let's just Be careful about that spot and go around it. All right. Whee! All right. Cover all that. Go for some more. Come on. All right. And then down here. Thank you, masking fluid. You work wonders when used properly. Okay. All right, that gets us some gray. They're starting well. We darken that up a little bit. And rinse off my brush. And lesson learned, let paint dry. Very important, because if I try to hit this with anything right now while it's still wet, it's just going to blend up in areas I don't want it to. All good, Desert. Yeah, both of you, please feel free to lurk. I appreciate you guys being here. Mostly what I'm doing is just playing, right? So you are good. Take your time, have fun, be safe while you're out driving. I will be here just chilling. Okay, so this guy, I think I might use the script brush, the little one. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to pick on a green color. I've already got some in the mixing well, so I'm just going to use what's already there. And I'm just going to dab a couple green dots in here. Okay. And then with my, I think I'm gonna let it dry. Yeah, I should let it dry. Stand back, Brian. Okay. I could hook up my heat gun. I think I will, just for the sake of speed, and I'll probably need it later. So let me get that plugged in. This way. I comment. Yeah. There we go. All right. Did I do this in a way that is hitting my... Yes, it is absolutely going over my headphones, so I'll just be careful. Okay. Okay. Man, if there was a way to permanently stop these stupid spam accounts from getting in here, I would love it. Ban hammer, baby. All right. Okay. Should be dry. Let's add in a touch of some darker color around the green that I did here. Okay, and let's get some a little bit darker. Okay. I'm going to leave the rest of that guy alone. Okay. Because I don't want to overdo that because I'll cover up that green. All right. Right. I think I'm done for now with the script brush, but I think I might come back to it in a bit just for some of that fine stuff underneath the masking fluid. Next, let's go ahead and darken up some spots. So I think the underbelly area could use a darker color. Okay. Maybe I do the leading edge as well here. And then I'll hit this underbelly with a darker shadow at the end. And then we'll hit just the upper edge of this window area here. Okay. And then back here, underside of the back. And then the underside of the cell. Okay, and I think I'll get the back edge of the arm here too. And I think that's enough on this one. Let's take a look at this guy, the Delta Flyer. This one's got a lot less of the underbelly exposed because it's a side view. So let's just hit the top of this, the window here. This little window area that can have just a little bit of shadow on it. Not enough to really be seen, but just enough to be there. And then same thing, I'll do the leading edge. Okay, and then the underbelly. It's just a faint bit of gray, but just a little bit to make it a little tiny bit darker. Okay. All right. Same dealio. Let's hit it with the dryer. All right. Coffee. All right. Time to go darker. Let's get some more black. Hit this with a little bit more. And how's that look back here? Not very dark. Let's get a little bit more. That's darker. Okay. We'll go with that. Okay, and we're going to hit just the underbelly, not the side edge there. I just want to hit the area that's fully on the bottom. Okay. Have to be very careful and do just the tip of the brush. Okay. Go around the top of the nacelle there and just get that bit darker. And then just a line of it on the bottom here. Try to get some real dark tones down here in the bottom. Yep. Here we go. And that little bit right there. And then the bottom edge of this nacelle. Not the middle, just the bottom edge. Okay. And while we're at it, let's hit just the tiniest bit on the upper side of the bottom of this window to try to make that as dark as we can along the leading edge of that. In fact, I don't know that that's dark enough. Let me get a little bit of it right on there and just try to let that spread. Okay. I was going to do the windows black anyway, so let's go ahead and get those in there. Okay. And let's hit the next ship. Okay. Going darker still, I'm just going to hit a little bit of the bottom of this. Try to get this finished possible line on this. And same deal here. Very narrow. Great, let's dry it and then we'll go to the script brush for a minute. Okay. Let's go to our friend, the script brush. Get a little wet. A little of just pure black. And dry it off. And let's hit just the extreme top of this. I want to get just the faintest dark on the top of the window area here. Okay. And I think that's good on there. I don't want to mess with it too much. Let's do the same here. Alright, and then the same thing for this particular spot too. Maybe just a little bit. Going on the edge right there. Okay. All right, let's try that. All right. Let's break out the eraser and get rid of this masking fluid. Came away. And this one. And masking fluid just turns into like a little rubber ball. Yeah, it kind of gloms together and like a little a little ball, and you can just brush it away. And what left behind is perfectly white and clear. So that's just, if you want to leave explicit bits of white on anything and leave it there and not even paint over it, masking fluid. If you're very accurate with it, it will leave a very, very accurate white space on your painting. It's amazing stuff. Yeah, that's amazing. When you use it right, it works perfectly. That is some amazing stuff. Let me pick up the little bits of it and throw it in the trash really quick, so I don't have little rubber bits on the floor or anything. There we go. All right. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from a distance, but up close, I mean, you can see everywhere where the engine is, where I had painted that white. Come on, focus. There we go. It's crystal clear. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do the last bits of color on this guy, and then we can move on to what I had planned to do next. So I'm going to use this, not this one, maybe, how big does the larger script brush end up getting when it's wet? It's too big for what I'm doing, I think. I think I'll stick with the little baby one and just be generous with the color. I grabbed the red that I had planned to do and I use it on my test piece back here. Yeah, it's thin, but that'll work. Okay, let's see how that looks. Gonna add a little bit of the red. Everything is dry. I don't know why I'm being precious about it. I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, and I'll do this one too, and I'm going to try to leave a little section of white that I don't go over to make it like pop. Yep, and try to hit a little bit darker in some spots. Okay, and we hit the pure color in there a tiny bit. All right, and that's enough of that. I want that to have kind of like a marbled texture to it. All right, and let's hit our blue. Add some additional water to it. And these are always hard. I'm going to try to be gentle with how much of it I use. See, that's kind of too faint, but I'll start faint and I'll add to it. Let's do that. And the same here. And we hit just some pure cerulean. All right, I'm going to leave that be. Last bit, I will add a tiny bit of color to right here. This little, it's kind of hard to see. I can't zoom in anymore without getting pixelated, but I'll probably lift it in a second. But there's a tiny little speck of a machine bit right here. And it is used, I think there's one here as well. It's used to help steer the ship. So instead of it just thrusting forward or backward, it's got to have something to kind of shift it from one side to the other. I think they call them RCS thrusters. Look at me, my nerd knowledge. Reaction control thrusters, RCS, reaction control system. I'm going to run with it. It's kind of like a, I think I can show it. Yeah, right there on the front. On that ship, the front corner, you can see that triangle thing in more detail. It's kind of like a tan color, so tan brown, somewhere in that range. So I'm gonna probably just do a mixture of the something I don't remember. I don't have the sheet in front of me with the names. I'm spacing on it. I'll do that and a little bit of the dragon's blood. And I think that'll probably get me a good color. Yep, more dragon's blood, please. It looks kind of icky there. Let me see how it looks like when it's thinner. Yeah, let's try just dragon's blood. No, I think it needs maybe dragon's blood and yellow. Try that. That's a little better. Just do a hint of that literally on this one tiny little corner right here. I think that's too thick. Okay, and this one too. Gotta steer the ship somehow. All right. I also remember that this is a phaser ship, so it should be a dark gray color. So I'll throw some color onto that. And I think this is dark as well. Oh, and I seem to remember, I've got it on there actually still, this area. This area has got some of that tan color in it as well. And I believe the area around this too. Just get a hint of color in that area too. Yeah, I think I'll call that. Oh, you know what? I'm actually missing. That's yellow, isn't it? I should do yellow. And it actually should have yellow right here. Yeah, there we go. All right. I think technically this is one of those thrusters too, but it's so dark because I filled it in that you're never going to see that, but I'll know. And what the hell, let's do it there too. All right. Stop playing around. That's enough. I think that'll be good. Let me dry that off.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Oof. Not bad. Nope, I'm doing it again. I think. Nope, we're good. I don't think there's anything else left to do on that. Happy with it. Yeah, I think it came out pretty good. I'm sure in the future I can, or maybe I can save this by putting it here for now. No. I hate to waste this because I didn't paint over the tape. I might be able to save it and use it again in the future. Yeah, that came out pretty good. I think I want to make one minor change that I'm looking at it. I realized it didn't quite finish drawing in this guy. It actually goes down there a little bit. And this actually goes down. Same for this little doodad right there and right there. Just to show that it's got some depth to it there. Yeah, all right. I'll call those done. All right. What will I do with this piece of paper in the future? Who knows? Considering I drew the names in, I'll probably just take this exact same thing, put it down there, and then do some of the other ones. I was fairly faithful to it. There's some areas where I clearly missed some fine detail because there's no way in hell that this fine trench was going to ever shine through and show up on this, but not bad. It makes it look nice and cartoony in a way. I'm kind of pleased with it. I lost a lot of detail in some of these other areas. Oh, there's actually some darker bits right there that I could have done. Yeah, I can probably throw that on there really quick. These had some texture to them, so let's add some randomness into this little doodad and this little doodad right here. Some just little black scribbles and leave some white, a tiny bit. I didn't even draw this one in here, but we'll put a little doodad right there. There's a little dot of something right there. I didn't draw that in, so I'll do whatever this is. I think it's another phaser strip. Okay, these guys have something in them. That was actually not shaded in, but who cares? Actually didn't do a whole section right here. Sawdust to draw it in manually because Who's gonna know? Okay, and that's there, that's there. That's good enough for all those little doodads. Yeah, that's plenty. I don't want to go nuts with it. Right. And that will finish drying off to the side. But yeah, I'm happy with it. Might do more of the ships in the future and just tape it back down onto it. I might do some fake, like, basic faint space behind some of it, just kind of like a splash of color behind it. But no, for now, it's good. I'll leave it alone. They can go back here. Let me undo this tape and this tape. Come with me. Yeah, well, whatever. Okay, and that can go in the track. And this can go over here. So I don't remember if you were here earlier when I was showing what else I was going to do, potentially. In addition to these shuttles, I showed this ship, which is from Star Trek Voyager. That's a project for another day. And same with potentially, if I ever want to use any of these guys, this is Voyager. This is the main ship from the show, showing from the front and the back, with its little nacelles up or down, depending on, what they're doing. I've done this ship before. It's the one that is over in the top right in this. It's hard to see because it's really small, but it's that little guy with the little green, like, nebula thing being pushed away. So I will revisit me some Voyager in the future. Now, what am I doing next, huh? Well, I wanted to fill the time with something, so my thought was, scoot this over where I can get to it if I need to. That tape is already coming off where I stuck it. I'm going to do another swatch with a paint set that I've got that I'd opened previously but haven't done anything with yet. This one, right here. Showed it earlier. It is from Kuretake. Focus. Focus. Oh, well, whatever. You can mostly see what it is. Okay, let's just not playing nice. Oh, you know why? Probably because I'm zoomed in. At least I think I was still zoomed in. Are you gonna play nice? There we go. Well, whatever. You can see it. And come, play nice. Do what I want. Okay. Anywho, this set, I got 2 months ago. I don't know. Time is, meaningless. It is a set of pans, the largest set of any paint that I've ever gotten before. And I had one of two options to swatch. I was either going to swatch in the lid, because it comes with the names of all the paint and little squares to swatch them in. Or I was going to do my traditional swatching method and do a full swatch like this, right? So I like this method of swatching. It's okay. I like this method of swatching because it lets me do the values from dark to light in one place, so I can see what it'll look like if I use a little or a lot. If I use the lid, there's not enough room for that unless I truly start dark in the square and then go faint as I go to the left over it, so I can still read what the color is through it, but I don't like that. So if I do a full piece of paper like this, I want it to fit inside the lid, and I might even glue it in. We'll see. Or I might just make it a card that rests inside of it so I can take it out when I want to look at it like that. But do it in the exact same shape and layout as where the pans are, so I can always see, oh, well, this is going to look like that, and so on, right? So I think that's what I'm going to do. I looked at it earlier, and the 9... I'm sorry, I'm not talking into the mic. The 9x12 paper is probably going to be my best bet for this, but I'm going to have to trim it down some. You can see it fits in here height-wise, but it sticks over the edge, so I do it underneath it. You can kind of see there is like an inch or so that hangs off, so I'm going to have to trim this off. So since I'm here looking at it, and I'm literally like right there, I think what I might do is pencil. You're a pencil. You are a pencil. It is there. So I might do like that. Second. Let's grab the paper cutter. Literally whispering in your ear. Sorry about that. Okay. You can turn around. Go. That was all me. You can go there. That fits in there. Actually, kind of exactly. It's kind of nice. And we're gonna throw along that. Is this enough to fit? Oh, it's perfect. Great. Okay, that's what I'm going to use. So this can go over here for now. Maybe I'll turn that into a bookmark or something in the future. Let's get that out of there. All right. Not too shabby. Yeah, that'll fit in there perfectly. I'll even keep the little chads on top too, because it makes it fit in there like perfectly, so it doesn't wiggle around too much. Yeah, so let me go ahead and grab that. This is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course, it have to be odd. Whatever. 4 wide will be easy. Doing 9 is going to be weird. I'm gonna have to measure it. So I've got my ruler. I'll do that here in just a minute. Let me go ahead for the moment, and I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna run to the restroom and then snag some more coffee. So you get to see my new Be Right Back screen. So I will be right back. Okay, I have returned. I think I want some different music. Since I'm not really doing Star Trek anymore, I can pick anything. So let me find something fun. That won't throw a million copyright notices. It's so stupid. The one of the last streams I did all of the like 80s and 90s like acoustic or instrumental versions of songs, like actual songs. And it got like not copyright notice, but it got like copyright like warnings for Russia of all places, but it would only affect Russia. And it was only an issue on YouTube, not on Twitch when I uploaded the VOD there. But it doesn't stop it from being visible, and it's not an actual strike, so it should be fine. But it's just like be careful. But it's like someone's instrumental versions of them, so it's not as heavy as a hit, right? So, but I don't want to use it too often, so I probably will avoid those in the future. So I'll find something. Bloop, 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 bloop. Because man, let me tell you, if copyright was no issue, there's so much Star Trek music and other stuff that I would play. Oh my god. One that I'd love to play, let me find it and show it here, is here, this one. I've mentioned it before, but the Star Trek Strange New Worlds Subspace Rhapsody episode where they did like a musical episode. I know I'm tooting the horn about this too much, but I absolutely love it. If I could play even 5 seconds of it, it would be amazing, but it would be an immediate strike, and it would probably be one on Twitch too, so I won't be touching this because I'm not going up against Paramount. I'm not big enough. Nobody's big enough. It would be stupid. So, what will I do? The video game ones, a lot of them are so slow, which is why I wanted to do something a little more hype. Let's see. I guess we could use this one. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know how loud it's going to be. Hopefully it's quiet. All right. Okay. Get my coffee out of the way. I stuck it there for no good reason. All right. Well, this is perfectly straight here, but on my camera, it's off to the side because once again, I have turned it or does something weird. Oh, I reset it and it moved. So let me... That might... Of course, there's tape on there now. My doing. No, it's not really that dirty. Yeah, I still got mostly clean water. Okay. So I have to do 4 across, 9 up. So let's scoot some of this temporarily out of the way so I've got room to work. We'll come back to him in a minute. How much was this? I think I pull this up really quick. Jesus. What's going on over there? Guys, he said, is it still a strike if you play something that the company uploaded publicly to YouTube? And if you have it in a little YouTube window, I wonder. Think of it this way. If the company or, I forget the name of it, but the producers behind whoever made the music, seems like they have enough money to have lawyers, there's probably a good idea not to play it. In addition, you know how it is, coming from the perspective of the person that made the music, if they clearly state somewhere, I allowed this to be publicly used for streaming or any other purposes, sometimes they want that and they just attribute me somewhere and put my name on it, showing that it was done. But otherwise, if it's any sort of danger, don't do it, right? If there's ever worry, just like try to find out what the name of the artist is in the song. I imagine there's resources online to look it up if you really, really care. Most of the time, if it's just like some truly abstract stuff, I think you'd be fine. I think it's literally like if it ever got played on the radio or got sold in like on Apple Music or something, even then be wary, right? Watercolor search. Nope. Nope. Wait, what? Where is it? No. 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 Does it not exist anymore? Or is it called something else? Or, what was it? Kira. I only used, I'm thinking it's more about the ads. If YouTube windows open, the ads are still getting views. I only use stuff marked copyright free by the creator, but I'm curious. I mean, if it's marked copyright free, you're fine. Just like document if you have to, like if you reuse something a lot and you're concerned, I would, if anything, just document, screenshot, print screen, whatever's necessary, screen capture, wherever it shows that it's copyright free, so that if you ever get something responding saying that there's a hit, you can dispute it and show that evidence. This is the song that you say is an issue at this time point in my VOD with this song title, and some Joe Blow third party that used clips of that for something else is trying to claim it. Well, the original copyright holder says that you can air that, so you can dispute, right? Just cover your ass, you know? Be smart about it. I can't spell. Kuritake. Oop. There it is. Got it March 21st. Oh, exactly a month ago. Let's find it. I just wanted to get the price of it. It's on sale right now. $42.07. It is a Kuritake 36 color set. I'm sure if you just look for it on Amazon, you'll find the same heading that I'm showing. I'm just not going to share it because I'd have to like trim the screen and hide stuff because I'll dox the hell out of myself because it's got like our address or some of the info on it. But Kuritake, and you'll see it look exactly like this set here. $42, not 42 bucks, not bad. Especially for a set of 36 colors, that's actually a steal of a deal. Clearly it doesn't have as much pigment as like some of these tubes do, but I mean, for a giant set with multiple color shades, it's actually a great deal, I think. Which is why I'm excited to see what they look like. Because it might do shades that I don't have in anything else, and I might come to this for certain things. Like if some of these blues work well for the Star Trek stuff, I might use them. We'll see. Okay, so I've got this. I know it fits inside the lid, so when I'm done and it dries, I can put it inside here. So I'll put the lid up for now. I realize I lift this mic up because it's like a million miles away. Because the names of the pigments are written on next to the pans and inside the lid, I think I'm not going to write the names on the swatch. I think I'm going to leave it just paint and cubes for the shape of where I'm going to swatch at, because I can always refer with it resting inside the lid to the paint. It's literally right next to it, so I can read it there and not need it, and it's going to be the exact same spots. So I think that's where I'm going to go with this. Slight departure from my norm, but what's my norm? I create my own, randomness. So I'm going to go there. What do you do for that? Do I do pencil? I think, yes, I do pencil. So let me do that instead of a pen here. Well, a pen would be pretty nice. I just don't want to mark my ruler with ink. Normal pencil, you're a normal pencil. You're sharp enough. Yeah, that'll be fine. Oh, coffee. Coffee. All right. So, 12 inches high. If I have to divide 12 by 9 in inches, that's going to be a nightmare. How about in centimeters? That goes up to 30. Does anything go into 30? Or does 9 go into 30 evenly? No. Not really. Yeah, I think you'll be fine with copyright stuff. I mean, truly, you know if it's going to be copyrighted stuff. I mean, anything that's well-known and got vocals, forget about it, unless it's someone that like does music on Twitch or something like that, or YouTube, and they're like, yeah, go for it. Totally wide open, play it, because it'll give me exposure. they're not marketing it or selling it anyway, then you're probably fine. Otherwise, yeah, I think you're fine. 9 goes into 27. 9 does not evenly go into 30. So what if I did 27 and I just did it in the middle and just did 0, 27 and leave a buffer on the top and the bottom? Then I can do the math evenly, and then every 3 centimeters will be a line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, right? Math? 3 times 9 is 27? Yeah, that'll work. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, that'll be fine. Okay, so I guess the question is, where am I going to put that? We're going to put it there. Okay, you're going to start there. Okay. Adding, all right, 2, 3, 18, 2, 3, 20, wait, 2, 3, 21, I doing this right? Yes, 24, 27. All right, and I started from almost 2 centimeters, so let's start from almost 2 on this side, and it was just a little shy of that. Okay, and then oops. There. It might end up being uneven a little bit, but I don't care. It just has to be somewhat in the ballpark. All right. And now, well, I don't need this palette at all. Did I get that wet a little bit? But it is dry already. So I'm going to close up my palette over here and move it out of the way. I don't need this. Let's start making lines. Okay. Oh, look, it's the actual width of the ruler, so I can just kind of use the ruler as a guide. I'll take it. Whoops. And I'll just, I'll erase the extra tick marks that I did on the paper, so it doesn't get in the way. This does the job well. Whoops. Okay. Let me get rid of the extra tick marks as best I can. That's probably better if I use this full eraser. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to be mostly painting over this. Good. All right. Yeah. It is. What size paper is this? Now I'm curious. I thought it was 9 by 12, but this is not 9 by 12. What did I grab? Well, it doesn't matter. Oh, it was 9, you dummy, because it got cut off on the right side to be able to fit inside the thing. Why am I sitting here trying to measure it like that? Sometimes my brain just breaks. Okay, so it's not quite 8 inches across, so I need to do a little less than 4. Actually, right here is halfway. And then a little less than 2, so halfway along that would be right there. And on this side, it would be just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines in from 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's not right. That one. Well, that's even. That one's not. I think I was right when I was doing it earlier. I think it's truly like right there. And again, doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be generally in the same ballpark. Okay, so from here to here is going to be in the middle-ish, close enough. So I'm going to do just here down to there. And generally half, I'll take it. That is generally half as well. And just like with everything I do, I'm not trying to win any awards. It's okay. Okay. And pencil can go away. I don't need you anymore. Right there. Okay. And did I do it? Yep. Yep, that works. I wasn't trying to line it up perfectly or anything either. Okay, so now the fun bit. Let's get this out of here. Like a little plastic cover that I'm going to keep to, when it's dry, cover it up. Mainly so they hopefully don't fall out. All right. I've got that. I've got some paper towels. I've got some clean water. Yeah, I think I'm good to go. Let me pick a brush. I think I'm going to use this guy. Let me put up my script brushes. You go there. You go there. All right. Okay. And now it's time to swatch. But first, coffee. All right, let's get cracking. Clearly I don't have as much room as I normally do. to do a very long swatch from dark to light, so I'm going to keep it more narrow as much as I can. But since I'm filling up the entire rectangle as much as I can, I think I'll be okay. Problems. I'm going to have to likely use the dryer a lot, so I may end up muting my microphone unless I need to specifically respond to somebody, just so that I can hit it with the heat gun over and over again. In fact, I probably want to move this slightly away from the pigment, so I'm not like nuking my pigment. Nah, I'll leave the mic on so I can read the colors out. Otherwise, you're not going to know what they are. So if anything, I'll try to be gentle about where I paint, and then we'll dry like one row at a time or something. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. All right, first up is literally just called red. That makes that easy. Okay. That is a nice bright red. All right, we've got ourselves a red. On to the next. It is called Carmine. Carmine. Okay. Whoops. Well, I knew that was going to be a thing. I literally said I should dry it, but it's bleeding to the one next to it. It's fine. Let me try to pull some of it up. Stop. Desist. Halt. Cease your bleed. Okay. Break out the dryer, like I said. In addition, it just kind of bled right across on this side, so let me try to sop up some of this so I can see what it looks like transparent. All right. Okay. Next up is called Rose Madder. Rose Madder. ROSE. Madder than, I don't know, the Mad Hatter. MADDER. Mad Hatter. I know, Rose Madder. I'm confusing my own words. Try to get this a little more buttery so it doesn't do what it just did. Okay. Scoot some of this over. All right. Next up is very close to that. Rose Madder Deep. Madder. Rose Madder. Scoot this over. There we go. That one looks like a few pureed raspberries. Had a very distinct color to it. Okay. All right, hopefully that should dry more as it sits. I'll get to it in a minute. Next up is Cadmium Red. All right. Next up is cadmium scarlet. Starting to lean more into the orange territory. Much. Okay. Next up, cadmium orange. It's actually kind of nice as it gets more transparent, it turns more yellow. All right, next up is yellow ochre. Much. Okay, next up, third row, cadmium yellow. Yes. Okay. Next up is a weird one because of the name, I don't know why. Aurelin? Aurelin. Aureolin. Aurelin. I feel like I'm at a spelling bee. It's kind of a muddier yellow color. At least in the pan. Interesting. This one, the dryer, made the pigment bubble a little bit. So drying naturally for that one is probably going to be needed in the future. That or I got too close to it when I was drying it. We'll see. Next up is lemon yellow. Nice bright yellow color. Same with that one. Looks like it wants to bubble up as well. I'll have to be careful with drying these. Next up is olive green. Over. Okay. Fourth row, sap green light. Let me try to get that a little more buttery. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Next up is sap green. Sap green. Okay. Okay. Next up is hooker's green. I've seen this called hooker green before. I don't know why they made it possessive. Hooker apostrophe S, hooker's green. But that's what it says. So that's what we're going to call it. Hooker's green. Sex worker's green. We don't call them hookers anymore. Bitchin', getting paint on my arm? No, not really. No, not yet. Okay. Okay, next up is Sap Green Deep. All right. You know what? Let me snag some fresh paper towel because this one's starting to get kind of soggy. Put that over here for a minute. Looks like a bunch of Skittles exploded. Well, right. Let's leave that there. Next up, 5th row down, we're on to Viridian City. I mean, just Viridian. I like this set. It's got a lot of green options. I was kind of lacking in greens. So I'm happy to have some options. I'm lacking in blues too, and this has a lot of them as well, so this will be really nice to see. All right, Viridian. How goes it? Right, next up is Forest Green. I like this one already. It's nice and dark. That's a nice color. Okay, next up is Turquoise Green Deep. Ooh. Oh yeah. That one is quite nice. Very nice. Next one I've been looking forward to since I've seen it on here, Malachite. Looks kind of like toothpaste, which makes it sound less sexy, but I mean, it's pretty cool looking. Okay. Looks kind of like a color you'd see like retro, like kitchen appliances or a car or something. Like a pale turquoise. Yeah. I gotta say, I'm really late into using it, but I really like this palette. Let's move on to the, what is it, sixth row. This is Ultramarine Pale, another new color. It looks very sky blue for me. I'm liking that. Basically, it looks like an ultramarine mixed with the white. Very nice. Next up is Ultramarine. Try to get that a little bit more buttery, a little thicker. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Just trying to actually kind of leak over it. We butterify that far left edge. Okay, next up we have Cerulean Blue. All right. Next up is turquoise blue. All right. Swatching always takes a long time, but this is a huge palette, so this is taking way longer than normal, but it's fine. I'm really liking the end result of this. This swatch is really pretty. Next up, the 7th row? Math, yes. Well, not math, that's just counting. The 7th row, first column is Prussian blue. Went a little over on that, but that'll be fine. Okay. Next up, one of my favorite colors in the world, indigo. I use indigo to death. That's because it's so good. So good at being space. At representing nothingness. See what their indigo looks like. Good so far. Looks like space to me. Yeah, looks good. I use indigo a lot. I don't think this one's as rich, but we'll see when it dries. One day once I have more indigos, I'm gonna have to do like an indigo challenge against all of them to see what they all look like side by side. But this one tends to fade more to a gray than like a bluish gray. Interesting. Next up after indigo is Imperial Violet. That's a color I've never heard of, and I can't even tell from the pan what it's gonna look like, so we'll find out. Well, that is just dark. I'm not going to know till I send this out what this looks like. Yo! Oh, that turns into a brilliant violet. Now I get the Imperial. It looks like royal, like purple. That's nice. That was a surprise. While that one had the prettiest violet in it, while it was still wet and in a mid-tone range, but as it dried, it darkened instead of lightened. It was very interesting. We'll see when I use it on something in the future what that does. Next up is Cobalt Violet. This one starts in that violet range. Yeah, I'm really liking the set so far. All right, second to last row, 8th row. This one's literally just called purple. That did not come off very buttery at all. Let's try to get some more of that on here. Come on. Get sick. Said no one ever? Said everyone ever. I don't know. Doesn't want to see, it didn't go on very thick and it doesn't want to spread very well either. Okay, start getting into the more weird colors. Well, I mean, they're all great colors. Next up is burnt sienna. Okay. Next up is raw umber deep. Looks like that would be good mixed with that olive green for like a military army kind of thing. Alright, next up is no surprise. A basic, just black. Let's see how it comes out. Oh, jeez. So I somehow leaned onto the power switch and turned it back on again. Freaked me out. Surprise! See how well it tones down. Not bad. We'll see what it looks like when it tries. All right. Just 4 more colors to go. I'll go for perfectly clean water that I haven't used yet for this next one. It is just white. May not even show up because it's white on white paper. The next 3 will be interesting. They're metallics. So we'll see how those come out. I'm not even going to spin this one out because this is literally just white. I'd never be able to tell the difference. So look at that, it's white. Okay, I'll send out the last bit on the end here, but I mean, that's white on white. For the next three, since they're metallic, I'm not going to try to fade them. I'm just going to do a solid block of that color because I don't think I really need to fade them. I think they'll be fine just doing them whole. I guess I could fade them. I guess it's good to know, right? White, I didn't need to, but or whatever. I love how I talk myself into and out of something in a moment. Next up is white gold. So not silver, white gold. So let's see what that looks like. So that one's going to be really hard to tell because, again, it's white on white. It almost completely disappears. It's not very reflective metallic that I can see yet. Maybe it is once it's dry. I'm going to try to go over it on the left side one more time with a hopefully really thick coating. It doesn't look crazy metallic in the pan, so we'll see. All right. Dry. Well, it's hard to tell if it's metallic or if it's just like glossy. I'll be interested to see in the future what it looks like painted over the top of other colors since it's transparent and see if it like makes them pop. It very much looks like it says white gold, like almost pearlescent. Okay, next up is called bluish gold. Bluish, B-L-U-I-S-H, bluish gold. Okay. Huh. Same thing. It's not particularly metallic. It's kind of like a high gloss on it. Like it's kind of metallic. It shows up more when it's over the top of something else. So it's another interesting, maybe like trying to do like a gold leaf effect or something over a brown or something might kind of pop. We'll have to try it at some point. Last one. This one's just gold. Just gold. Mm. Okay, we're done. So what have we learned? I almost like the entire set. It's so weird. The metallics, I need to use them on something that needs a metallic of that color to find out what it's going to look like, because when it goes on and it's wet, it looks terrible. As it's drying, it looks terrible. Once it's completely dry, and especially when it's over the top of something else, because I overlapped a little bit on the stuff on the row above it, it starts to come out a little bit. And like, the color is there, but it doesn't really have a shimmer like you would want a metallic to do. Maybe the problem is I'm thinking that it's a metallic paint and it's just the color that it says it is, and isn't built to be like metal flake. It's not built to be like reflective, glittery metallic. You know what I mean? It's just the color it says it is. So I need to come into it with that mindset, and I think it'll be fine. That said, though, the rest of the set is really, really good. I'm pleased with all of it. Every one is its own unique color. Some of them better than others, but I mean, the ones that call out to me the most, I really like the cadmium scarlet. I really like the cadmium orange. I love how that one transitions from an orange to like a yellowish tint, all in the same pigment. That's beautiful to me. I love how much that changes. That is like built to go on flowers. Green, I like the olive green. I like the blue turquoise, or turquoise green deep. That's what that one is. That one is turquoise blue. I like the turquoise blue. I really love that imperial violet and the, what is it, cobalt violet next to it. The indigo, like the dark indigo, I'm good with, but as it lightens, I'm not loving it as much as I love my Winsor Newton indigo. I actually like the Prussian blue more to the left of it. That Prussian blue, I like it more than I like the indigo. I don't hate the indigo, it's just not as good as the Winsor Newton one. And yeah, that's about it. Everything else is just there, but good. It's just there. Lesson learned, I don't, when it's a puddle, don't get too close to the dryer, because it just wants to bubble. That's probably the binding agent or something in this. Is probably not as good as some of the other stuff I've got, because everything else dries really well under a dryer. This, I think, is going to need to be a paint set that I let dry naturally, or I hit from a distance. With the heat lamp, I can't get close to it. I'm getting patient like I tend to do. But regardless, it's done. I can't close it up yet because I need to let the pans dry, and I am never going to hit this with a heat gun because it's plastic, so that would be stupid. But this is not bad. I don't know how I'm going to flatten it. I think just over time it'll flatten being a part of the lid. But it's nice. I like being able to see it right next to the pans. It really helps being able to see what I'm going to get out of it when I want something. Yeah, that'll be really nice to use. I'll have to, maybe the next stream, I'll figure out something to paint that uses a lot of colors. Maybe a rainbow, maybe something abstract. I don't know yet. As simple as it sounds and as childish or childlike as it is, a rainbow sounds very simple, but that's kind of deceptive. I think I can probably make a really thick rainbow effect and let it really blend together and do nicely. So that'll be an interesting experiment. But yeah, I think that's it. It feels like we didn't do a lot today, but we kind of did. Took 3.5 hours. I traced out these 2 shellcraft from Star Trek Voyager and painted those. Happy with how they came out. And we swatched my entire, I was going to say Kurosawa. That's not right. Kuratake. It's Japanese. Kuretake. Kuratake. And swatched this entire set. I'm very happy with how that came out. I am going to let this sit on my table for a couple hours and dry before I put this clear plastic cover on the top of it to protect it. And then we'll close it up and put it back on my my drawer over there. I will get to work figuring out what I'm going to do Thursday. I'm kind of just winging it day by day here. I try to figure out what I'm going to do the day before. Sometimes I succeed. Sometimes I have a hint of an idea and then I just run with it the next day. I'll try to figure out what I'm going to do for Thursday. I don't know fully what yet, but I will work on something. I don't know what. Maybe the rainbow idea, maybe that and something else. We'll see. Aside from that, I am going to head out. I'm going to go eat here in just a bit and rest up for the rest of the night. Goddess and Desert and anyone else that might have been lurking out there, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I am going to peace out. Rainbows, you just did 2 the other day? See, we're on the same wavelength. I gotta get some rainbows out there. You as well. You have a great evening. Have a great day. Goodbye. Goodbye. I might raid somebody, but goodbye. Goodbye.